So about a month ago, I made a video of the best quarterbacks of all time. And some people were wondering if I could do a list of the best QBs to never win the Super Bowl. This was another difficult list for me to make, but I gave it my best shot, so here we go. Number 10, Donovan McNabb. McNabb was among the best quarterbacks in the NFL throughout much of the 2000s, but he simply struggled to win the biggest games. McNabb was 9-7 in the postseason and went 1-4 in NFC Championship games. In Super Bowl 39, McNabb had 3 touchdowns and 3 interceptions in a 24-21 loss to the New England Patriots. He finished his career with over 37,000 passing yards and over 3,400 rushing yards to finish out one of the most dynamic NFL careers in history. Number 9, Randall Cunningham. As a Pro Bowl caliber dual threat quarterback, Randall Cunningham led the Eagles to 3 straight 10-win seasons, but he wasn't able to turn that into postseason success. Cunningham threw 5 interceptions and no touchdowns while losing 3 straight playoff games in that era with the Eagles. He did later lead the Vikings to almost a Super Bowl berth, but fell short to the Atlanta Falcons. Number 8, Philip Rivers. If Philip Rivers was nothing else, at least he was consistent. Rivers didn't miss a game after taking over the starting position for the San Diego Chargers in 2006. Even though he led the Chargers into the postseason 6 times and the Colts once, he never went to the Super Bowl. He won at least 1 playoff game in 4 of those trips and played for the AFC Championship in 2007. Rivers retired with the 5th most career passing yards in NFL history. Number 7, Fran Tarkenton. When Fran Tarkenton retired from the NFL, he held most of the league's major passing records, but he did not win a Super Bowl. In fact, he is one of the Bowls ever to lose 3 or more, and he had a 6-1 interception touchdown ratio in those appearances with the Vikings. Number 6, Steve McNair. Without question, Steve McNair had a remarkable career. He won the MVP in 2003 and went to 4 Pro Bowls. However, the guy who worked hard from Alcorn State to be the 3rd overall pick in the 95 draft, he never won the Super Bowl. He did reach the Super Bowl once against the Rams, and he almost brought the Titans within 1 yard of forcing overtime, bringing McNair painfully close to the top of the mountain. A few years later, he would lead the Tennessee Titans back to the AFC Championship game. Again, they would fall short to the Baltimore Ravens. Number 5, Ken Anderson. Ken Anderson posted winning records in 8 of his first 11 seasons, but despite that success, postseason appearances were far few and in between. For the longest time, the Bengals signal caller, Anderson would thrive on his accurate passing, leading the league in completion percentage 3 times and never finishing a full season under 50%. Anderson took an abrupt step forward in 1981 when he was named the NFL's MVP after helping the Bengals improve to 12-4 after a 6-10 finish in 1980. He led the Bengals to the Super Bowl, but even though Anderson threw for 300 yards, he threw a pair of interceptions and was sacked 5 times in a 26-21 loss to the San Francisco 49ers. He would never reach the Super Bowl again. Number 4, Dan Fouts. Dan Fouts didn't become a star quarterback until 1979, but once he found his rhythm, he became a Hall of Fame caliber player. Fouts led the NFL in passing yards from 1979 to 1982, pushing the Chargers into the postseason each of those years. San Diego would lose back-to-back AFC Championship games in 1980 and 1981, leaving Fouts without a Super Bowl appearance for his career. Fouts continued to be a strong quarterback until his retirement after 1987, but the Chargers never again made the postseason under his guidance, and I remember that team would give my Steelers fits. Number 3, Warren Moon. Another quarterback who posted sky-high numbers during the regular season but couldn't quite find the same magic in the NFL playoffs. Warren Moon was among the most prolific passers in the late 80s and throughout the 90s. Moon closed out his Hall of Fame career with over 49,000 yards, 3rd of all time. But he just was 3-7 in his postseason appearances. It's not that it wasn't experienced in the postseason. During his time in the Canadian Football League, he won 5 Grey Cups. Warren Moon was one of the best ever. Number 2, Jim Kelly. Jim Kelly did not have the longest career, but he regularly made the postseason and the Super Bowl. Kelly led the Buffalo Bills into the championship game in 4 straight seasons, which has never been done before, but he would always fall short. This leaves the Hall of Fame quarterback as one of the quarterbacks that could just never close out a Super Bowl and who would lose 4 in a row, and was 7-2 interception to touchdown ratio when he was playing in the Super Bowl. It's a shame because if that team had have won 1 Super Bowl, it would have been one of the best franchises of all time. Number 1, Dan Marino. Dan Marino rewrote the record books during his legendary 17-year career with the Miami Dolphins, but he made only 1 Super Bowl appearance. Even though he was unable to beat Joe Montana and the San Francisco 49ers in the Super Bowl in just his second NFL season, it was expected that it would be the first of many appearances in the big game. Dan Marino was the 1984 MVP and set many records during that great campaign. Marino would go on to lead the Dolphins into the playoffs 8 more times, but he held just an 8-10 career postseason record. So, this was my list. Some honorable mentions that just missed out, Danny White, Mike Vick. It could be argued that they should be on this list. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please like, share, and subscribe to the channel. And if I missed anyone that you think should be on the list, let me know in the comments below. Like I said, it was a very difficult list to make. Until next time, bye for now.